I live in a house that is far too big for one person. It has 12 bedrooms, a library I never read in, and a dining table that can seat 20 people. But usually, it is just me, eating a sandwich over the sink in the middle of the night. I have spent my whole life chasing money. I built companies, I sold stocks, and I made millions. I thought that was what success looked like. But life has a funny way of teaching you lessons when you aren't looking for them. It happened on a rainy Tuesday. I came home earlier than usual because a meeting was cancelled. Usually, the house is spotless and empty by the time I walk in at 8 p.m. But today, it was 4 p.m. The house was quiet, but it felt different. The rain was hammering against the glass windows. I walked toward the kitchen to get a glass of water. As I passed the small laundry room near the back of the hallway, I stopped. The door was cracked open. I pushed it gently. What I saw made me freeze. My maid, Maria, was lying on the floor. She wasn't sick or hurt, she was asleep. She was curled up on a thin rug on the cold tiles. But she wasn't alone. Tucked into her arms, wrapped in Maria's oversized cardigan, was a little girl. She couldn't have been more than 5 years old. The child was fast asleep, her thumb near her mouth, holding onto Maria's uniform with a tight grip. Maria looked exhausted. Her face was pale, and there were dark circles under her eyes that I had never noticed before. My first instinct was confusion. I didn't pay Maria to sleep, and I certainly didn't know she had a child. In my world, you follow the rules. If you break the rules, you are out. That is how I ran my business. That is how I became rich. I stepped forward to wake her up. I was going to ask her to explain herself. But then, my expensive leather shoe squeaked on the floor. The little girl stirred. She didn't wake up, but she snuggled closer to her mother, burying her face in Maria's neck. Maria's arm tightened around the girl instinctively, protecting her even in sleep. I stopped. I looked at the two of them. Here I was, standing in a suit that cost more than Maria made in 3 months. I had millions in the bank. I had cars, houses, and power. But looking at them, I realized I had absolutely nothing. I had no one to hold on to me like that. I had no one who trusted me to keep them safe and warm. I was the poorest man in the room. I quietly backed out of the room. I went to the living room and grabbed the thickest, softest cashmere blanket I owned. It was a throw blanket I had never even used. I walked back to the laundry room. Very gently, I laid the blanket over them. I didn't want to wake them. I just wanted them to be warm. Then, I did something else. I sat down on a wooden stool in the corner of the laundry room and I just watched over them. I waited. For the first time in years, I didn't check my email. I didn't look at stock prices. I just watched a mother and her child rest. About an hour later, Maria jerked awake. She gasped when she saw me. She scrambled to her feet, shaking. The blanket fell to the floor. The little girl woke up and started to cry, hiding behind Maria's legs. "Sir." "Mr. Thomas." Maria's voice was trembling. "I am so sorry. I didn't mean to fall asleep. Please, sir." My babysitter canceled at the last minute, and I had no one to watch Sophia. I didn't have money for another sitter. She was sick, and I couldn't leave her alone. "Please don't fire me. I need this job." She was crying now. "I will work late. I will clean everything twice. Please." I held up my hand to stop her. "Maria, stop." She went silent, bracing herself for the bad news. I looked at the little girl, Sophia. She was looking at me with big, fearful eyes. "You are not fired," I said softly. Maria blinked. I'm not." "No," I said. "But things are going to change." I took a breath. "Maria, why didn't you tell me you were struggling?" She looked down. "You are a busy man, sir. Important." I didn't want to be a bother. You were sleeping on a cold floor, I said. That is not right. I crouched down so I was eye level with the little girl. Hello, Sophia. That's a pretty name. She gave me a tiny shy smile. I stood up and looked at Maria. From now on, bring Sophia here whenever you need to. I have 12 bedrooms. Pick one. Turn it into a playroom for her. She shouldn't be on the floor. Maria's mouth fell open. Sir, I couldn't. I insist, I said. And Maria, I am doubling your salary. Not because you asked, but because I have been blind. You work hard to take care of my home, but I failed to help you take care of yours. Maria started to sob, but this time it wasn't out of fear. She covered her face with her hands. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you so much. I walked over and did something I hadn't done in 20 years. I gave someone a hug. It was awkward, and I wasn't good at it, but I hugged her. Go home, I told her. Take my driver. Take the car. Take the rest of the week off with pay. Spend time with your daughter. That night, the house was quiet again. But as I ate my sandwich over the sink, the silence felt different. It didn't feel lonely anymore. It felt peaceful. I learned that day that being a millionaire isn't about the money in your bank account. It's about how much kindness you can afford to give away. And for the first time in my life, I truly felt like a rich man.